Welcome back. This time we're talking about Only the Brave, directed by Joseph Kosinski and starring Jeff Bridges, Miles Teller, Josh Brolin, and Jennifer Connelly, and telling the story, the real life story of the Granite Mountain Hotshots. Now, if you know anything about this true story, you know this film is going to end in tears. But I have to say those tears are well earned and well worth it because this is a fantastic movie. I learned so much about wildland firefighters, and in a lot of ways I could compare this movie to a war film. We have our soldiers, in this case our firefighters. We get to see them in battle, not against human foes, but essentially Mother Nature, or at least Mother Nature in the form of devastating wildfires. We get to see how their tours of duty impact their families. And we get to see how these various situations in the field and at home forge a bond of brotherhood amongst these men. Joseph Kosinski has directed 2 feature films before this one. Tron Legacy, a movie I really enjoyed, as well as Oblivion with Tom Cruise, a film that I liked, and I'm pretty much one of the only people who did. So this film is a significant departure from the futuristic sci-fi movies that he has directed before now. Instead, tackling a true story about wildland firefighters. And I have to say, he did an amazing job as director. His entire crew put together a fantastic looking film. The wildfires are both beautiful and terrifying, and him, along with the script, are able to immerse us in this story and really take the time so that we understand what these wildland firefighters go through, both on a day-to-day basis, at home, as well as in the teeth of fighting wildland fires. The script is based on a GQ article following up after the tragic events that obviously are going to play a large role in the third act of this film. If you're not entirely familiar with it, I am not going to give all of the specifics, but as I said, this is a film that will ultimately end in tears. But as I said, the ride is well worth it. Much of the story focuses in on the fire chief of this battalion. That's not really the right term, but this unit. And he is played by Josh Brolin. Most of the rest of the story is told from the point of view of a young recruit played by Miles Teller. His character is someone who has a lot of marks against him. He's a drug addict, he has a criminal record, but the fire chief sees something in him, especially since he is trying to correct his life after the birth of his daughter, and he takes a chance on this kid, and a lot of what we see is through his point of view. So as I already said, this film is very much structured like a war film. So if you like those types of movies, especially those based on true stories, I can highly recommend this one. The acting is great all around, from the leads to the rest of the men playing these firefighters. The pacing is really strong. It does get a little slow here or there, but those moments are used to really let the audience into this world. I learned a lot. I'm not saying I could go out and fight a wildfire, but I feel like what I saw in this movie was accurate, both from the way these men lived their lives and worked their careers, as well as the actual ways they battled wildfires. Obviously, with everything going on in California right now, this is a sadly timely film because of all the loss, both in property and in lives there. But it's, that in addition to this story, just I don't think about wildland fire as something that you can't outrun, and that is a situation, sadly, that people sometimes face. So I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I found it well done as far as honoring the men whose lives they're retelling here. Very well acted, very well directed. I really have no major complaints at all about this movie. So like I said, if it's something you want to go see and you're not afraid of potentially a few tears in the end, I highly recommend it. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you. If you've seen this movie, what did you think about it? As always, you can subscribe to my channel, check out some of my other reviews, and until next time, I'll see you at the movies.